And I'm SpeedSlasher.
No, you did this wrong. This is why you don't watch this. Greetings, welcome to the podcast where we don't know what we're doing. This is, of course, the Please Don't Watch This podcast. I don't even know if we're going with this. I think we're going
Let's
with
go
this.
with it.
Okay.
That's Carl.
There
And
it
I'm
is.
SpeedSlasher.
But regardless, welcome out, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful whatever day this happens to be when this gets uploaded. Because
Well, it's in August, hopefully.
yeah, it should still be in August. We're in the right now. Today is August the 12th, which is a Friday for us, which is usually when we record our podcast here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some news really quick, because it's been a little bit since the last podcast. We've been trying to go for a bi-weekly thing, but because of the turn of events and everything, including a Mr. SpeedSlasher who is going off to, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but just
I'm going to college again.
yeah, because he didn't get enough education.
I love college.
Post Speed, can you spell education on the screen for us, please? Thank you.
Education.
But
I have it.
But yeah, so with that being said, we are going to still try to get. I think that the bottom line is that we'd like to do one at least. It's going to be for sure once a month, but we'd like to try to do at least once every 3 weeks.
3
if
weeks.
possible.
But you might see one earlier than that. You know, we like to surprise and not keep a good schedule on this. But that's fine.
that is true. So just as an update there. But yeah, let's get to it. What's SpeedSlasher?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk really quick about this, and more so, this is just a good job more than anything. But we'll get to this more later in our primary topic today, which is events and the planning of events and what goes into events and just the thoughts of events as a streamer. But I want to just do a quick congratulations on accomplishing not only doing your 12-hour event, which you weren't even expecting it to be, but accomplishing your 12-hour event, which I feel like you were starting to sweat near the end on whether or not you were actually going to get it done. So
it's like, oh no, 13 hours, I'll go. Have all night. I'll pat myself on the back though. And good job on community night as well, because that was like right after. That was the next day.
It was,
which I was also there for.
It's true. I'm so far behind on when we did the last podcast because I thought we talked about community night, but maybe I was thinking about the lead up to community night for that. So.
Yeah, you're also talking about follower night, probably is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, probably that. You're probably right too. That's true. Okay, so we had community night, which is we'll get to that too, I think, because there's a lot of stuff. But
it's an event.
But just as a heads up here, our next community night is going to be August 27th. 7th, which is going to be at 3 p.m., which is on a Saturday. It's going to be a little bit longer than what we've normally had. I'll be playing some music for about an hour, and we'll do some. We're going full stream ahead with Order versus Chaos, which we'll get to about with that as well. But we are definitely gonna. It's open to everybody. Come have fun. We got lots of games to play. We got some Mario Kart. We got some Splatoon, Jackbox. We got marbles, and we got the SpongeBob movie that's gonna be playing after the post community night, as it would be.
Yeah, you goofy goobers, join us.
But
I'll be also playing the recorder during the musical segment. So if you're interested. He's nodding no. No.
That's false. That's 100% false. Otherwise, I'll hold you to that. I'll hold you to that and make you actually like learn a song like legitimately to play for it, which would be kind of cool actually if you could if you pull it off. I'd be kind of interested to see what you can do.
All of it is just me dweedling and pretending to know a song. So I mean, sure, maybe I don't know.
So, but yeah. So, and then you are currently without any events right now, I think, because collage is taking priority, I think.
I legit just got confused there what she meant by collage. Is like, I guess I have to work on a collage right now for the...
Yeah, get it done.
Yeah,
go.
I'll get it done. I'll get it done for New Year's. So what else has been going on with you? I guess we'll start with you.
So I have just stressing out and everything. I still am working on Project Chase. But on the plus side, I've gotten some refound motivation to finally get that going. I have noticed. I gotta say thanks to everybody that's watching, as well as anybody who isn't watching. That usually is just more of a follows the stream, follows other YouTube stuff. But I haven't seen this in a while. But I saw an all positive thing across the board with analytics and statistics as of recent. And it's not to say that you guys have been like negative or anything. It's just been that the analytics between YouTube and Twitch and stuff is a very difficult thing to monitor, and is really, really relaxing and stress relieving to be like, all right, we're moving back in the positives again. So, and what that means is it's not just money that I'm looking at. I'm looking at retentions from people, and what that tells me too is that it's not just like, oh yeah, we're just getting more people out here. Nope. What it tells me is that like I'm doing the right thing for you guys. I'm making sure that you guys are the most entertained and everything, and you guys are getting everything that like you are enjoying. So when I see that, that tells me that like just that gives me more of the push to continue to just do what I'm doing. So that's been the most exciting thing, and that's been pushing me now to be like, okay, all right, I'm doing it right now. I know where I'm at, and now it's time to really push it even further, based on where I'm at right now.
Yeah, numbers can be both a toxic thing, but also a very empowering thing. So there is like, as much as I think at least on my end, I don't want to look at them. It does like kind of feel a bit empowering to be like, hey, people are interested in this content. So thank you again. We've thanked people each time we've done the stream of their like a thing of this. So
yeah,
watch this if you want to be complimented.
it's true. And also I mean, like if you, thank you to all the people that comment too on these podcasts as well. It's like we like hearing your input. We like thanking people. I wouldn't you agree? I enjoy a good thanking of a grouping of people when I can do so.
I love you.
Slams door in face. So.
What else? Oh, you got. So last time we talked about how Carlo was going to get a new car, and now he has a new car.
Yeah, and it's in the shop now. I'm mad.
Oh. I didn't know.
It's got a transmission issue. Is all of all the things that I could have possibly expected from a new car that I got. A transmission issue is not particularly one of the newest ones, but I'm learning that it's just a regular maintenance of a transmission that I'm just not at all used to yet. So, as is life, hopefully it's a pretty simple thing to just fix and it'll be on its way again. But
good old Mitsubishi. The name is Pinhead Larry because of
it is.
It has some stickers on it.
Remind me to give you pictures of that, and I'll
I have them.
Oh yeah, you do. Okay, so, but yeah, it's I bought a Mitsubishi Lancer. I bought the Mitsubishi because my last Mitsubishi, despite the fact that it was destroyed in a truck wreck, never had problems with that car. So when you don't have problems ever with a car, like you get like really
become a brand.
Yeah, like it's kind of that thing where it's like you have a magical experience, so like you want to try a magical experience again. So hopefully that's with Pinhead Larry here that it stays the same thing. But we're not off to a good start. But sometimes like you just gotta give it a second chance, and it'll be okay. So
you have to watch the movies on my stickers to ride me better.
Oh well, yeah. There's that too. Maybe that's true. Maybe I gotta break that. Maybe there's a curse that I have to a hex curse playing Dead by Daylight here. But yeah, so it's the dumbest thing. I was driving a little bit of a distance 2 days ago, and my car started whining. Like, if you've ever heard of a supercharger or a turbo charger actually whine, like when they start to spool up and everything, like it's a very specific whine. But my car's not supposed to do that, so I was very concerned every time I'd hit the throttle, it'd just go woo. I kid you not.
Ric Flair.
It seriously would do that.
Woo!
It does. It totally does. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully it. I really like that car. Like everything. As soon as it gets running again and perfectly fine, I really like that car. It's been super fun to drive. So. There's that. And I'm trying to jump the gun here and make sure I get everything else that I'm trying to miss. But I'm sure you're gonna remind me of like, don't forget to talk about that.
Okay.
I don't think. Oh yeah. We finished Wind Waker and Super Mario Sunshine finally for the 2 out of 3 of the summer classics. But the stream has gone into a full motion of having a try schedule now per day. So that's I think that's exciting. I think people are enjoying that. Hopefully you're enjoying that too.
Yeah. I love changing the title and the game each hour.
Yeah, he does do that. he does.
It's
Thank
a
you.
thankless job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I try to thank you.
Thanks, Speed. Anything else?
No, I think that's all I got to really talk about right now. I'm hanging in. I promise I'm gonna get stuff done, and I promise it's gonna get even better. I promise. Okay, I'm making that promise. I don't make that promise often, but like this time, I think I gotta make that promise and say it's gonna get better.
Yeah, I know. The tough thing is, having the CG artists for the Project Chase and all, and then hiring the boom mic crew for the stunt plane.
The stunt plane.
No one knows after all these years what Project Chase is still. I could say anything, and it could be a thing he's doing for it.
I will say though, nobody's guessed it yet. I'll give you guys that hint. Nobody's guessed it.
That's been the hint.
No, but I've been pretty honest about like I wouldn't say whether or not you did or didn't get it, but like at this point it's kind of an interesting thing because like if you go back and look through all the data that's been like Project Chase is possibly this, nobody said that's that.
Okay. The only thing that I'm still keeping as a hint is it's a game that probably has a popular soundtrack that you don't agree with, because I think you said that in another podcast. So.
I might have. I don't remember.
But yeah, I'll move on then to my own stuff real quick because
it's SpeedSlasher time. It's SpeedSlasher time. Yeah.
Yeah, college. Going back to it, that'll be near the end of August, and that will certainly affect my streaming schedule because I like to stream on Monday to and then Wednesday and Thursday. Guess what my classes lie on? Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we're gonna,
oh my god,
we're gonna have to hoodle doodle something. And they are at later in the day as well, though. So I think like the drive is a bit far, so it'll be like I'll be out from 6 to 9 or something.
Yeah.
So get someone else to change the titles for Monday and Wednesday.
I was thinking about your streams, like.
Yeah, certainly. I'm gonna see. Like, I might just start streaming Tuesday, and then we'll see. I'll have to feel out how the schedule will go because again, it's not just going to school; it's doing the school after school.
Yeah,
like studying notes,
homework, and grad homework's worse. So,
not if I have a admissions officer or something watching this, I love homework. And I love my schedule. But again, going back to it, that is also why we're kind of offsetting the podcast. Also for the sake of just like kind of thinking more about how we want to approach topics and stuff and all that. So even though the podcast is kind of a side thing for us, all things considered, I think that I'll concur with Carl and say I appreciate that there are viewers who ignore the title and give us a good chunk of their time to listen in. So thank you.
Yeah. To all those people. I mean, I admittedly tell people don't watch this podcast, but like, we appreciate you guys that do. By me saying that, please, we really appreciate your time and effort to watch this podcast.
You're getting so close to it and doing college radio. Besides that, yeah, table tennis that happened. I'll just get into that later. But primarily, had a lot of fun doing the story thing, and then I kind of was like, I did all the story thing at the start when I thought I would finish.
Yeah, you did like I'll hold for that because there's a big tangent I can kind of get into that. So, like I said, our event our event today is our title.
Stream events.
Our title today, is stream events. So
we'll think of something funny for it.
So we're trying to hold
podcast.
We're trying to hold like all the details about all the events that have just come up and everything, so we can basically talk about those. But I think unless you got anything else to talk about,
about the other stream stuff. Like I finished Chibi Robo. I want to complete it though at one point. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'll see. And then
was that gambling?
No, actually, it could be. I mean, I need to make 100 spoilers. I need to make 100,000 moolah to get the final item, and that will take a while. So it could be gambling. It could be all night gambling.
Because remember, Speed, 10% of gamblers make it because they kept going.
Yeah, good flip on it. Good flip. I appreciate it. You threw me in for a loop that you forgot to quote. But then again, I've been saying it like each stream. So. Besides that, I started Monster Hunter Rise, which is pretty darn
You
fun.
did! I was excited to watch that stream.
It was funny because that was Monday this week, and then I raided Carl, and then I jokingly said after Carl finished, like, "Oh, you could raid me, haha," and then everyone's like, "Well, do it." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, you kind of goofed on that one.
So then I did a 6-hour stream that whole day, basically.
Like I had to stop. Like when I was about to do the raid for him, I had to stop and like ask him straight up. I'm like, you want to do this? Like, there's no.
And I was already live at that point.
Yeah, I was like, there's no shame in backing away from this. Like, you know how much you don't like just overdoing it yourself. So, well, like, hats off to you for sticking through it though.
Oh, and hats off for golf guys, man, coming back. The rope. Sorry, loser. Oh, you can't cut to the yeah.
Actually, yeah, I can because I'm using OBS right now.
Oh,
I can totally do it.
Okay, it would rest with our audio though, I think, because the sources aren't all on that. But here, I'll cut to it. There, that joke.
Okay.
That it did not go well for Carl, but we still. So Everybody's Golf is a game we used to play a lot for that particular segment. It's where Christmas '95, the fake psychic, Carl and I would play golf on Everybody's Golf, but that service is ending on the 30th, the online service. So
Of
we're trying to
September.
yeah. Sorry, I messed up again. I said that to someone else, and then TFP had to clarify. But yeah, we want to really get all our money's worth. In fact, TP and I are trying to get the last course unlocked as well in our free time.
Who's gonna get to it first is the real question.
I might, but like TP did play a little more than me last night. So, besides that, yeah, I also just went back to Wii Sports Resort as well. So, because I didn't play at all until that event, and then afterwards I was like, I kind of just want to play the game again without table tennis, and then I did table tennis that day.
And like it's a really good summer themed game. So like
Yeah.
summer kind of starting to be on the close. I mean we're in the third trimester of summer as it would be. So as we're getting close of it, gotta get your summer games out because the school is starting for everybody and summer's almost over.
There's 104 days of summer vacation.
Is there?
That's how the Phineas and Ferb song goes.
Oh, I've never seen Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, dang. Okay, never mind. I was like, no wonder you're so blank-faced about me going insane.
I know. Look, man, I'm finally getting to Better Call Saul, which I will not spoil anything about, other than it stars Saul Goodman.
Real quick, can we do the intro to the show?
What show?
Where we just go, boom, boom, boom. I'm moving close to the camera and then going
Oh,
back.
you mean the Better Call Saul theme?
Yeah.
Oh, well, heck, I almost wanted to just go grab my guitar. Because I actually learned it. I was, like, watching
Oh.
it, and then I had my guitar in my hand. I'm like, I just, like, sat here and learned it.
Okay, save that for community night.
All right, fair. Oh, yeah! I should do that for community. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that
All
for
right.
the intro. You like cold open to that. I think it's a good call. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that is basically all the existence of me.
Yeah. All right. So I think it's time for news.
Which we're gonna be. There was a lot, but we're gonna be somewhat brief about it.
Yeah.
All things considered. So, would you like to hit it off, or would you like me to just briefly?
Let's. Okay. So we got 3 topics that we're going into today. We
Yeah.
got it's basically there's a lot of announcements I'd say, and just like there's 2 directs, and then I don't know what Evo technically gets counted as, but basically just.
It's a fighting game tournament where a lot of games are like, well, a lot of people are watching. Let's announce stuff here.
Yeah. So it's like fighting game specific announcements
Yeah.
for that one too. So
A lot of fighting game talk on this podcast. I'm very surprised.
yeah, especially for a person that like I don't ever play fighting games ever. So
I'm pushing.
yeah, just it's not that I don't like fighting games; it's that I just don't have time for fighting games. So
Yeah, it is a time investment to like understand combos and all that.
Especially if you want to play like on the competitive league. So, but yeah, so I guess okay, let's get into to Evo there. So
Okay. So for people who are watching, I am wearing a brown leather jacket kind of thing. It's not really leather, and that's because don't do a Kevin McAllister on me.
I was making it look exciting. Come on.
Garou Mark of the Wolves is the last fighting game in the Fatal Fury series before it kind of shifted to King of the Fighters. And during Evo, it was revealed that there's to be a sequel of some sort. You know how last time I showed that Dragon's Dogma 2 was just kind of announced on a shirt? Mm-hmm. This one was just like a PNG, and text is like, it's coming back. So the last time they ever did something of that series was 2000. So like early 2000s and such.
That's a long time to wait for that.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, sure, these characters have lived on through King of Fighters. So basically, they kind of occupy different things. Fatal Fury was a little more like there's 3 lanes you could jump your character between. The Garou wasn't really like that, but like it had a lane system basically. So I don't know what is going to happen with it, but like that's pretty exciting. It was a cool IP basically.
Yeah,
and, I'm glad it's going back to it. Other than that, there are a lot of cool character reveals, like Juri and Kimberly for Street Fighter 6. Juri is a returning character from 4, and then Kimberly's a new character. And then Bridget is returning to Guilty Gear. She's going to be in it. And then Tekken 8 is just all these announcements you're looking over. I sent Carl an Event Hubs thing.
Wait, when did I miss Tekken 8?
Oh, new Tekken project in the works specifically. So I sent Carl the.
Okay. So it may not even be necessarily like Tekken 8.
But yeah, you just see his face and it's like. So. Okay. It's like, okay, that's something. If I can recall, Carl, you have played Tekken the most out of any fighting game?
I'd probably say more so Street Fighter than any of them. But so my experience with Tekken is I think the first Tekken. Way back on the good old PlayStation Singular. I actually thoroughly enjoyed playing a little bit of Tekken every now and then. Like, it wasn't my go-to, like, I have to play this every single day kind of thing, but like every now and then I was like, I feel like I'm in a Tekken mood today. I'd be like, okay, I'll load up Tekken. And Tekken was the first game I'd probably say, because in the original Tekken, the only thing I truthfully remember was getting a perfect on a match once, and feeling like super proud of myself because I was able to do 2 runs in a row without taking any damage from the computer AI. So
perfect.
Yeah, so I was pretty proud of myself for that. But other than that, after that, I never really played Tekken much ever again.
Man, I wish this is a very side comment. I wish we could talk more about like the crazy things you have to do in fighting games to unlock certain things. Like there are certain bosses. I forget which Street Fighter game I'm specifically thinking of, where you have to get like 2 perfects, super finishes, and all that just to fight. Oh, I might be thinking of Capcom versus SNK 2. But anyway, that's the very side thing. It's just like there's a lot of restrictions to see secret content back in the day. Mm-hmm. But that was, since I was being brief, that was basically it. I think I'm the most excited for, because I don't really own any of these games that were revealed or like updated. But like, man, Garou is really cool. So, there's that.
All right, so that's all you got to really say about Evo?
Yeah. Evo, I didn't really watch Evo. One of the fun things, I didn't post about it. It's just a brief comment. Someone won a match using a Guitar Hero controller.
That's... in what game?
Now that's the thing. I don't remember. Were they playing in Guilty Gear who uses a guitar as a weapon? I don't remember.
Because like I'm thinking, because like a Guitar Hero controller, I mean, you have the 5 primary buttons on the neck. And then, like, you guess you have an up and down with the strummer, as it would be called. So I guess, like, you have left and right with the strummer, and then you have your buttons. So I guess it wouldn't be too, like... I mean, I wouldn't probably say... I'd be disappointed if a champion one with the Guitar Hero controller, but, like, I could see some matches being one with the Guitar Hero controller. Debating.
Let me show you. I found an image, and I want to tell you This is safe to say, I think. The title of this is Evo 2022 player, multi-blood player. My wife's son is their username. Goes 3-2 with Guitar Hero controller.
My wife's son.
Okay.
And that, you know, and the really depressing part is that poor other kid is using an actual, like, fighting stick, too, there. Like, he's... Oh,
kid,
man.
he says...
And there's a lot of people watching that one, too.
Yeah.
Man.
Multi-blood is often played in, like, the bathroom, like, or, like, a weird spot, like a basement, so...
Please tell me that's like a champion using the Guitar Hero controller.
I'm not familiar with
Okay,
that particular player.
Because I feel so bad for that kid. Oh, no. Oh.
You keep saying kid. That's the funny.
Because I'm old, okay? I don't know how to say that.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, so...
Let's move on from Evo. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not wearing the Slayer t-shirt. I'm not prepared, okay? Splatoon 3, it got its direct. Post, I always find it very interesting when games get an announcement trailer, like, in this kind of regard, post release date, especially for how close Splatoon 3 already is to release. I just thought it was kind of like a weird timing thing. I mean, like, go figure. Like, everybody enjoyed it, I'm pretty sure. Most people were like, yeah, Splatoon 3, yeah!
I think it really bolstered the hype to show, like, okay, this is what you're getting, you know?
But yeah, so, like, the biggest thing that honestly gets talked about in the Splatoon 3 trailer is they have a new band. Each game so far has premiered a different band, which is totally fine because, like, I think it helps quite a bit in their whole theme. Even though it wasn't so much a theme in the second game, but, like, they do try to, like, keep it as quote unquote fresh as possible, and there's a lot that goes into that kind of thing. And the truth of the matter is that, like, you just have to keep putting in new stuff, which makes the game, like, better in some regards. But sometimes, putting in new stuff kind of breaks the if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of methodology too. So with that comes, new stages, new abilities, new weapons, new techniques, which,
there's an Akira thing, dude, where you ride a motorcycle and then go. That was really cool. I'm really motivated to get Splatoon 3 now.
I'm sorry. Are you sure you're not talking about Pokemon? We haven't gotten to Pokemon yet. Okay, calm down.
Okay, no, they're going all in on motorcycles. It started with Breath of the Wild, and before that, it started with Shadow of the Hedge. The Nintendo IP.
But yeah, so, like, for myself, like, I wasn't too excited just to see this, not because, like, I'm not excited for Splatoon, but because, like, not, like, probably 3 or 4 days before there was an announcement for a trailer, I had already pre-ordered the game. So
he's already like, I'm already in.
Yeah, I'm, like, already in. So it's like, I mean, what else do I need to kind of, like, see at this point? Like, I know there's gonna be a whole crap ton of new stuff. So, like, all right, let's go. Let's go.
I do like the trio. There are some. There's always going to be contentions about the new band members. I mean, we saw how the Splatoon 2, some people were like, Pearl's forehead. And then Fry comes along and is like, stand back. I like all three of them. I don't know which one you're going to side with. But the cool thing is, like, it's a trio. So now Splatfest will involve 3 things. So.
Yeah. Including 3-player turf wars, which, I mean, like, honestly speaking, I know there's a big push that, like, have, like, 4-player, 5-player, but, like, 3-player stuff and even 2-player stuff is like, quite an enjoyable thing too. Like, Counter-Strike, not to bring Counter-Strike in, but, like, Counter-Strike has I forget what it's called, but it's basically 2-player mode or 2v2 mode, which should work, but is plagued with aimbots all over the place, so it doesn't particularly always work, unfortunately. But, like, it does have a competitive scene for it, and it's really exciting because, like, duos is something to be, like, the less, like, there's one thing to playing solo, but, like, the less people you have to work with, the more fun I feel like a team effort can kind of be. Like, yeah. Like, not to bring Fortnite into this. No, I'm fine with bringing Fortnite into this.
No, I don't. That's Dolly.
I enjoy Fortnite, but like, they did I think they did the 20v20 v20 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 20 times 5 basically mode, which is like insane. But like I feel like you get one guy that's like either happens to be in the right area at the right time to just clean up, or like you end up just kind of like getting a kill or two and like kind of like not really contributing to the team even though you won. So I'm a really big proponent of like I really want to like do something for the team. So like if I don't have anything to do, then like it just doesn't do that much for me, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
how you felt during Monster Hunter World, I think.
Yeah, that is true. You know, when I played, not to go into that too much, but like when I played Rise, I played just with Troy, and it was just me and Troy. You know, we worked together as a team, and like I had to carry like half the weight, and he had to carry the other half of the weight. So I felt like useful. Like when I played with Speed, was it Speed, TFP, and Chris?
Yeah, not TFP.
Not TFP.
Sometimes Twisted Pit actually, as Bob Ross.
Oh yeah, we had a interchanging fourth then. I think is how we kind of rolled with that. So, but yeah, like I just felt like there. Like these two had played a lot of World as it was, so I was like, I'm just kind of there. But
I think Carl has now the chance to go back to it, and
yeah,
appreciate it a lot
I am
more.
kind of interested now to go back to World and actually give that like a full solid go, and maybe even get into Iceborne too.
So going back to Splatoon 3 though, I get ready for the Splatfest. Carl, Troy, or Speed? What team you want? I'm on Team Troy personally. I think very, very briefly, I'll also mention, I think one of the best quality of life things I've heard, even though I haven't played any of them, I'm really interested in 3 though, is that you can skip the news segment at the start.
Oh, thank God! Yeah,
Yeah. You were talking about that during because Splatoon 2 was on the community night. Actually, we didn't.
Yeah.
Mention that. He was talking about, I can't skip this. Now you can, so that's really cool.
Like it's really cool that they like the problem with the segment. So here's how this works. If you've never played Splatoon, so obviously it's on a rotating map schedule. Like every mode, whether it be just casual versus or competitive versus like team competitive versus even salmon run. All 4 of those are on a rotating schedule for which maps that you play, which is great because like that keeps that fresh factor in. You know, like you're not like able to just like play the snot out of one map and just ignore all the other maps, like which is what a lot of competitive scenes do.
Yes.
So the problem with that, and this is I just want to clarify briefly, okay? Because this is like a first world problem issue here is what we're kind of going off of here, because the problem that I have with that is literally that you have to watch Off the Hook in Splatoon 2 literally go through the map cycle every single time instead of it just being like here's all the maps, okay, bye. and it takes literally 2 minutes to go through this entire thing, and you cannot skip any of it. Like you have to sit there through all the dialogues and everything, and it's awful. But like it's a cool thing because like they're trying to make it like it's a new show, yeah. But like sometimes you just want to get them and play, and that's just not the case with that.
It's kind of like how Isabel's like, oh man, the dryer ate one of my socks in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Isabel.
Sorry, Isabel, but I just wanted to check turnip prices and go to sleep.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
but yeah, Splatoon 3, in conclusion, I'm excited. Carl already is going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So
that means you shall get it too, right? And play with me when it comes out September 9th.
Does it? 27?
9th. No, the 27th is when the last...
Is it in the document? Sorry. Okay, well.
that's when Walmart said my game's going to be here in my lap September 9th. So that's what I'm going off of.
Okay, so let's move on to Pokemon.
Wait, hold on. One more thing we got to talk about. Splatnet 3 app.
So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I kind of briefly, I'm sorry for using the word briefly a lot, but I didn't really look at either of these announcements. I kind of just scrolled by what our people are saying and stuff. Mm-hmm. So in short, like some new Pokemon were revealed, a new Wooper.
Yeah.
And then there was Fido. Fido looks cool.
Whooping it up in Mario Party 2. I forget what it was.
The game also got, some people were making comparisons. There are some graphical improvements over the previous initial announcement.
Mm-hmm.
They're certainly hammering down on the open world aspect in terms of like all the gyms don't scale with you. So it's like you can go to the tougher gym if you want, or you could just go in like a preferred orientation around or something.
Which I'm like kind of indifferent on, because like I it's not so much that I don't like the gym scaling with you. It's that I think there could be a really big push for uniqueness if they did it kind of where the level scales with you as you go to each gym. Because like if you understand and think about like some of the lore of how like Pokemon gyms are actually supposed to be, like we have been just kind of stuck on this route where we have to go through each gym like in a set linear pattern. And
I thought you were going to mention that I think in the anime they talk about they have different sets of Pokemon for the gym leaders. So then depending on who comes to challenge them, they'll change that.
And I was actually going to get into that.
Oh,
so
okay, sorry.
I was hoping that like that would be kind of more so what they were kind of looking at for that kind of thing. So, but I mean like because like I still feel like they're just stuck in the ways of like being linear kind of way.
Yeah, it does kind of shoehorn you still, but at the same time, you can be adventurous and try to catch different Pokemon, even though they don't scale with you. And I don't remember if they talk about like, because in the past, gym badges decide what Pokemon you can even catch and tame and stuff. So we'll see how that rolls out.
Like I do think
because the bikes.
I do think there could be like a number that you kind of get assigned, like that just shows like how powerful you essentially are. Just based on like what your Pokemon's levels are at, and just a whole bunch of other different stats that can kind of like equalize to what what Pokemon and what levels they use those Pokemon at a gym that you fight at. So
yeah,
but yeah, motorcycles.
Woo! Card games on motorcycles. Say?
I was gonna make that reference. I was gonna be like, they're stealing it from Yu-Gi-Oh! Come on, man.
Well, you gotta be this speed slasher to be this dumb. Don't add that as a quote.
That is a quote. Everybody start. I want to see in the future, everybody. I want to see that on a T-shirt. Okay, I want to see that.
Okay.
I want to go to a convention and then we get mobbed by please don't watch us podcast fans wearing that quote on a T-shirt. I'd die a happy person. I'd be
the
content
most
with my
niche
life.
shirt to ever own. And then like this is where I'm a little bit like they introduce. Was it terrestrialize? I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like, hey, you like Mega Evolutions? Well, get that out. Crystallize. I don't know what it does new in terms of like.
It boosts their types.
It changes their effects of the types, right? But I guess it'll be interesting, especially because it's like I think I was talking to Bright and he was like, if you make a Greninja, or was it Tim? But if you make a Greninja use that, it's like they kind of have good typing as is. So then you go on them and then yada yada yada. I'm being very rambly about that, but all things considered, I have not played Sword and Shield still, and I haven't played any of the new Pokemons. That being said, this one is certainly interesting. I like that they're taking what Arceus brought in terms of changing up the formula, and they're going more with it.
Yeah, and that should be talked about too, because we only really talked about gym leaders and gym badges and stuff, but like the one of the big things that was talked about in the Direct was the ability to actually just like not even focus on that if you don't want to, like for a big portion of the game. There's I guess 3 things that you can kind of do, and I think they like talked a smidgen about that. I don't really remember what the other 2 things were, or maybe they just kept us in the dark as to like not spoil the crap out of the entire game. So. But yeah, there's 3 big like objectives that you have to take care of, which is a really cool and bigger step into really getting a more broader and expansive Pokemon game, I think, as opposed to just like here's 8 gyms, go for it. So, yeah, I'm super hyped. I have not pre-ordered Pokemon yet because I'm still waiting to see which has the best pre-order bonus. But we'll see what happens. Some might have better, some might not have better. So I don't know.
So that was our news cycle. We talked about each thing a little, but I think we talked about what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So want to move on here, Chief?
I think it's time to move on. I think we can go on to. I think we got time in the event to go start talking about this. Don't you think so? Hi, funny. Please don't watch this podcast. Funny.
So yeah, stream events. I'll get into it. Stream events in shorts. You messed me up, bro. in the jorts, are days where we plan something out that's a bit non-normative from our regular schedule. I think the primary reason we like to do these are like we like to challenge ourselves, and at the same time we want to do something that's entertaining to show appreciation to people who have stuck around. On our ends, I think we've done basically two kinds of event streams. There's you might have a different criteria for this. We've been approaching each of these topics with criteria, so I'll outline mine and you could offer yours. Endurance stream events, where we have a clear defined goal, what we want to accomplish. For Carl, this would be like Pikmin Night, where his goal was to beat all 3 Pikmin games in one sitting.
Which I did do.
He did do it. He was very tired to come Pikmin 3, though. On my end, I'd done Magical Melody Marathon. Yes, I played Magical Melody, where the goal was to collect 50 music notes and see the ending. And then the other one would be variety streams, where we play a bunch of different games for the sake of entertainment. This would include like the All Night Gameathon, which has been around for a good while. Community nights, follower night. On my end, I did like for my 200 follower thing, I did like a personality quiz thing. Some kind of fall under both though. So like New Year's Eve Showdown is kind of a bunch of different games, but at the same time, it's like how many games can you beat in a year. On the other hand, Hexaresimal doesn't really fall under either, because it's like we're just sitting there watching the CPUs go at it. But like, I guess that could be still an endurance event. We have to watch all of it. So hit it.
Oh yeah. So okay. Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it pretty well with kind of defining the two. I would say more so it's like challenge endurance is kind of the better doubleized term for like like Pikmin nights and table tennis and New Year's Eve Showdown would be like kind of fall much more under those. And like with those, like the biggest, because when it comes to events too, I'm focused on trying to make sure that like the people that want to come to these events are trying to essentially be enjoyed. They want to enjoy this. It's something that's interesting to them. I don't. Like, if I wanted to do a challenge on my own that nobody else cared about, then I'll just do the challenge on my own. So be it with that. But, like, with a lot of these things, like, a lot of people like watching speedruns. So, like, there's a big push to, like, be like, hey, what can I kind of do to, like, for, like, Pikmin Night, going back to that, which is, like, one of the first, like, nights that I think I did many years ago, which I feel like maybe we're due for another Pikmin Night. I don't know yet.
Yeah, he's been thinking about that.
But, like, that's... that's the biggest thing with that is like can I do it? How long will it take me to do? And will I give in, I guess, in a sense. So but the biggest thing that I think I get always nervous about is that like sometimes I get just nervous that it's just going to be boring for people. So with Speed and myself, what we like to do, and I've been really lacking at this, but Speed's been kind of on top of it, is we do add in like little tidbits of information, or not tidbits of information, but tidbits of like skits and stuff to kind of like entertain. And people like I've never just seen such an overwhelming positive joy for doing that kind of stuff, and I attribute myself. Originally I got the idea to do this. This goes back all the way to the Gameathon, which I'll talk about like as far as those kinds of events in a second. But like for the Gameathon, I came up with the I wouldn't, and I'm not gonna say that I came up necessarily with the idea, but I came up with the idea to put skits and stuff between like games. Sometimes they'd be like commercials, sometimes they'd be like actual advertisements or stuff, and sometimes they'd just be things. And the idea for that came from, I believe, one of the really old podcasts from the good old earthboundstarmen.net days.
Wow.
So because like they were, and if you listen to the Rock Candy album, specifically Rock Candy album number 4 and 5, which is all just a bunch of Earthbound covers and stuff, you'll see on there it has like a section of just advertisements, like fake, falsely, advertisements that are just specifically Earthbound based. And I love that idea. I was like, we should add that kind of thing in. And that kind of, I think, spawned in a lot of us really to kind of do more of that kind of stuff, which is where, like I think we're doing a lot with, you're really doing cool things with the table test thing, because instead of doing like commercials and stuff, you did a story arc, you did a lore. I mean, like you did you wrote literally a a lore from scratch over a goofy thing of, you know, just being the champion of table tennis in Wii Sports Resorts.
It was about post-apocalyptic futures. It was about a dystopian future.
It really was.
It was
like
about table tennis and Wii Sports.
Like, for you people that didn't watch any of that at all, or don't really follow Speed, which you should, like the man like really went to town, like doing like these flashback pictures of and scenes of all of this kind of stuff, showing him literally turning into like a superhero and everything. It was hysterically and amazingly done. I love it. Loved watching every one of those.
I'm debating if I want to do a highlight, but that's 12 hours I'd have to sift through.
Yeah, that's what you call Tom.
No. I don't want to make him do that. No, but yeah, I certainly got inspiration from you on that front, because the commercials were really fun, and they're still fun. I enjoy like how you're bringing in new things like Kea eating, what was it, bread?
Mm-hmm.
How many toilet rolls?
Yeah, and then of course now Howie probably adds a new element into that too, with making commercials where Howie just basically is a jerk to me the whole time through. I feel bad making Howie a jerk, but like at the same time, like that's where his funniest role really lies
like
in.
Clippy.
No, that's an insult. Howie's gonna come and find you. So, but yeah, so that's and the thing is that like people loved it. I mean, people really enjoy seeing people overcome things. Like, and that's something I always struggle with myself, because I get into such a mood where I feel like people are just. It's almost like I feel like people are getting angry with me and like outrageous with me, and like they won't get satisfied until like I've like accomplished the goal at hand, you know. So like it's a little harder, I find, for myself doing these challenges this late, just because of that general feeling. But like I just hope that you guys do have a lot of fun sitting there watching through challenges. Like my latest challenge that I did was racing Ocarina of Time, and I didn't have the most happiest time towards the end, because I just made mistake after mistake after mistake. Albeit, go ahead, say it. How much training did I do for that? Because, you know, you're the one that brought it up, I think, the most out of any of us. So
I'm doing it with my hands. I think.
Just a big old 0. just holding your hands up like this. That's how much training he did.
Yeah. You're doing the Numa.
Oh,
Numa.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah. There,
oh,
there
he's
we
doing
go.
it. New GIF. Yeah. New emote. But yeah, I just felt bad because you kept beating yourself up over it, and I think that was the I think we can get into that for like the streamer experience aspect of this topic that I kind of wrote out, where it's like, you know, sometimes well, I don't know, do you want to get into that part, or do you want to like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have too much else to say about just like challenge streams in general. I think I've kind of made my point.
Okay. So for me, like, I've done them a little more recently than Carl in terms of like, I only really did my first one. Shoot, I don't even remember when Magical Melody Night was, but like, before that stream, I was really nervous, you know, especially because it was my first one.
But Speed,
you're gonna say something funny?
It hasn't happened yet. Have you played Magical Melody?
But yeah, I have to admit, I just get worried if people will even want to bother with that like stream. It's like, that thought can be very destructive. Like the feeling of, why am I even bothering doing this thing? It's like, it's imposter syndrome. It's like, well, first you just have to press start streaming, and then just kind of go from there. That's why I try to keep a mentality of a happy streamer results in like a happy audience, and that's really, I think, the tough thing to maintain, even like not even during a event stream, just regularly.
And nobody's perfect at it either, you know. Like,
yeah, so even if things are looking off, or even if Lucia hasn't lost in 8 hours, you know, I try to shake off that mood as fast as I can, you know, and it can still crack. I think there were points during, not so much Magical Melody Night, but more so table tennis, where it's like, oh man, There was a point, I think hour 9 was when I was feeling like I actually can't do this.
Yeah. That's
So-
the biggest challenge in its own right, is when you get to that point of like I don't think I can do this anymore. Like
Yeah.
and like you
But-
just don't want to let people down is my biggest
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and even then, I think that's also a matter of we shouldn't take this too seriously in terms of like we're just doing a thing for fun, and we have to try to keep that mentality in there. But you know, it's an endurance stream it's called that for a reason. It's endurance against our own, mentalities.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I think there's always regrets in any event. Like
Mhm.
I could have done a little bit more of this. For table tennis in particular, I blasted through all the lower parts at the start.
Yeah.
Because those weren't long each one. They're like 4 minutes at most for one of them, but those were breaks. So then I had to take like a hard break at one point.
And I think there should be something said too that was probably the best play you could have probably done anyways, because there's always the possibility, like we made, me, TFP, and I don't know if Tom was in this one too, but we made this giant joke that like he was gonna go in and he was gonna beat this on the first
go.
Yeah.
Where everyone would just have to watch the skit.
Yeah, and then
I even had a backup plan. I don't know if you remember. It's if I beat Lucia too fast, the next person would have been the actual true like boss.
Mhm.
But I did that. I beat Lucia at hour 12, like before it turned 12 hours.
yeah, like
So I was like,
the 11th hour, literally.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do something else for this, for the lore.
Mhm.
But my only hope, even if there's regrets, is people who stuck around to watch, who enjoyed it. I hope they enjoyed it as well, and that's what makes it satisfying at the end of the day.
Yeah, and,
Like,
I think it should be said that like people did really enjoy it, because like if you looked at your statistics and stuff, like I would say that stream out of the rest of the streams you've probably done in the past month was, honestly speaking, like your more watched stream. And I don't mean that by like how many viewers you got, but just the consistency of viewers. Your average viewer count, I'm pretty sure, was higher than usual with that. So.
Yeah.
So I'd say, like, based on what you had for that, you had a lot of people that really did come out and want to, support you and enjoy, what you had to offer for that. So, yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, too, this is the truth about any event, is that, like, whatever ends up happening just happens, because I was talking to other people about, their events too, and they were saying, like, yeah, nothing went as to time or anything like that. And this is getting more into now with the
scheduling.
Well, more so also with like the like events like the All Night Gameathon, or even my like community nights that are coming up and in the past, as well as like follower nights too. Where like it's a scheduling issue where it's no matter what you do and what you try, like you will never have it so perfect that it is hour to hour to hour. And like if you need, like, truth be told, if you need to know the most professional example of streaming where this happens every single gosh darn time they do it,
AGDQ
and SGDQ, every single time.
Yeah.
Single time. It is one of, if not the most watched event probably on Twitch in a given year. And they never, like, they even try to schedule it so that they have breathing room. And that still doesn't end up working.
Yeah. Especially because of an event that scale with so many technical errors inbound because of old software and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, and so it's a very difficult thing, and like for you and me too, because like they even think about this, like for you, the lone streamer that streams by themselves, it doesn't have hardly, the only help that they really get is maybe just like to check some like audio levels and stuff, and to like make sure to tell you that like the stream is basically on. Like, you are alone and you have to like put things all together and make sure things are running on your side as smoothly as possible, and that means like I'm not saying that like you're just there mentally, like that's number one for all of that. I mean, like for myself, like I'm looking at like, okay, are all my wires in check? And is all my video in check? Do I have all the games ready to go? Are they updated now? Because I definitely been responsible for that one. That's a little bit of that right there. Like now I'm adding in new elements. Like I have a green screen now. Is that ready to go? Is that lit enough? Am I lit enough where you can see me? I go ahead, laugh at the joke.
Sorry, no, hold on, real quick. I'm laughing because during table tennis, I used a red screen, so my lips were green most of that stream.
Well, I thought that was
Carl's green screen's cool.
I thought your red screen was an odd choice because for a man that likes red, I thought that would not have been the choice. Like I would probably be a person that would enjoy a red screen more so because I do not use red ever. But like yeah,
Catches the lips, unfortunately. And I couldn't use a green screen because it's like I was wearing a shirt with green on it, and I don't have a blue screen, so it was just a curtain. So the light was bleeding through it as well.
Yeah.
And then as the day went on, it stopped working as well.
Yeah,
Really,
for my
wacky.
green screen, the lights were obnoxiously bright and obnoxiously close as possible to the green screen to make sure that thing lit up as much as I could make it do so. I think for what I accomplished with it, I think it worked out pretty all right. I don't think there was too many like nasty looking issues, but like it's definitely something that I have to keep exploring with as time goes on with that thing. But like, and then there's the other thing too with a lot of event stuff. Like, I don't know if you really did much of like spending money on anything, but like, you know, spending money on events kind of just becomes a thing. You know, like with let's take community night for my example. It's my next event that's coming up. You know?
The Kit Kat bar was $200.
Yeah, I mean, like okay, so like, admittedly,
no, but the Velcro is more.
Well, yeah, okay. So the Velcro on the subscriber board that cost I think like $30 or $40 to do that entire thing. So that was expensive, by all technical means. And then, but like you know, simple things like Kit Kat bars, you know, those begin to add up in a lot of regards. I know it sounds stupid because like it's a $1.50 Kit Kat bar, but like you know you add that plus like any technical things like you know do I need an extra wire for something? Do I need to make sure like if a microphone goes out or something like that?
Do I need more salt to put on?
A computer part that maybe goes out, or just dumb things that just keep adding up, or even like having DLCs for Mario Kart so you can do stuff like that. I know. I'm using a lot of this stuff like. It shouldn't be, but like it does really. It
makes sense.
Add up in a lot of regards. So there's definitely just and then the last thing that I feel like you got to really make sure that happens is making sure, especially when you start to do multiplayer events, like again using community night again, making sure that people are actually going to show up for like Mario Kart and Splatoon and all that kind of stuff, because like you don't want to like sit there in a lobby by yourself. Like it's because like what that means is like making sure that like the people that even are going to be able to make it out there have the games that you want to play on the community night. For those of you that have never done a community night and are thinking about doing so, I highly recommend you go with anything that you can get on Steam that's like interact with your community, or like the best example would be Jackbox. Those would be the kind of things. And there are definitely other games you can kind of like throw into the mix if you really put the creativity together. Like I would be kind of amused if we did a you and me get to look at the bomb while everybody else gives us.
Oh no! I didn't know where you're going with that until you said the bomb.
Yeah, so I'm referring to keep talking and nobody explodes.
And explodes.
Where me and Speed are sitting there like looking at the bomb while the rest of chat, non-verbally, VC, is giving us
with a delay too, no less. What a goofy.
I think that'd be hysterical though, like, cause you get so many people that be like, "No, just cut the green wire." Yeah, cut the green, and you just get a
wait.
bunch of.
You know what I'm most excited for on that? They had to describe symbols.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see like one person be like, "Oh, the thing with the one line going up and then the other one," and then TFP here goes like, "Yeah, the lambda symbol." Just types it in.
It's true. but yeah, so it's always a big thing to make sure that like when you do these events, just ask friends to come, help out, and the biggest thing that I am trying so hard, and I apologize to anybody, like there's a whole bunch of different streamers that I totally respect and I totally hang out, with, but I've been so bad at doing, and that is advertising your stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and just go out there and say this, like I am the most afraid at all the time when it comes to advertising things. I am terrified, like absolutely horrendously terrified. I feel like this comes from my imposter syndrome and just my self-esteem that just like truly shows it's low. And the thing is that I get so afraid that like I'm going to advertise in someone's chat and they are just going to unload this just like angry, horrible, horrendous thing against people. And like for the most part, it's really bad to assume that against the internet too, because like, you know, the internet,
it's a cynical view.
Yeah, and the internet gets a really bad rap for being a bad and scary place. I mean, like there are definitely a lot of toxic people out there. There are definitely a lot of people that just have opinions that like, yeah, you're allowed to have your opinion, but you know, you didn't really need to do it that way, kind of thing. But like, you know, with even when people are so generously nice to the point where they're like, yes, please advertise in this given spot that I've requested people to advertise in, like it's such a scary and horrifying thing to do regardless. And I'm not saying that even just for myself, because I know I have people that I've even been like, hey, yeah, go for it. Go advertise in my chat. You know, I have a specific spot for it. And they're like, yeah, I'll do it. And then they never do it. And I don't think I mean, there's probably sure, you know, the people that just forget to do it. But at the same time, like, I think there's a lot to be said about a person that's super anxious and nervous to do that. And I'm saying that as one of those people. And this is more of an apology also to Speed too, because I didn't do this for a long time and I've only now started kind of recently doing this. So yeah, I'm sorry that I haven't really just like, cause like, you know, it's a thing that like you don't think about it, but like when you advertise in someone else's, you know, stream or in like a Discord server or something like that, not the stream, like if you, there's etiquette to that. But like, when it comes down to you know, advertising and that kind of stuff, like they set it up so that, you know, they could show that other people are also interested as well in their stuff, that, you know, they can like go and advertise too. And like there's this conglomerate of like, it works better to just advertise the stuff. Like people want to know about this stuff. People need to know about this stuff. So like if you can and you have the means, advertise your events, people. Like, please.
So, I'll add to that. I got more people near the end, you may have noticed, because I didn't advertise in one of my friends' groups until Sleepy. She put it in there, and it was like, oh, yeah, I should have done that.
Mm-hmm.
As a goof on my end. Oh, my internet might be doing bad, folks. Carl probably can't hear me, but I'm still here.
No, I totally 100% hear. Was it because my camera went like goofy?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's because I had a goof with every now and then my monitors decide they want to just like refresh themselves. So like I'm like trying to make sure that it like fixes itself. Like 'cause right now it's just going absolutely just berserk and bonkers right now. So that's what's going on, and it's trying to like resolve itself. So now it looks like I'm frozen for a second.
Sorry, technical difficulties. For the
podcast. I think we're okay now. I think we're all right. So
okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, suffice to say, I should have. I do hesitate that as well. I also here's my primary thing. It's less so I'm anxious about doing it, but I don't want to appear like I'm just there to dump and not be involved in that community.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I feel that too. That's a big feeling, because like even when I do it in your community, because like admittedly, and again, I am sorry, I just we've had this joke about like what Speed's community, it needs to be known that it is Speed's community. It is not Carl 101 After Dark, as it's been rudely joked upon, but it is Speed's community. It is a place where Speed's, you know, it's not just jorts either. But it
should have been. Maybe then I.
Yeah, but it is a place where, you know, it is all things that are more pertain to Speed, and we do have our things that we like, that, you know, we don't necessarily we don't like everything together, because it would be.
Of course not. Just see the fighting kin topic earlier.
Yeah, exactly. like they do talk a little bit more about fighting, and I think like a lot more wrestling gets talked in there, and excuse me, but like
I'll edit that out.
But yeah, so like it's I do feel bad, because like I do advertise in your chat, but I mean like there's also, you know, you do a lot as well for my chats anyway, so like I feel like it's kind of like we're family, man. We gotta do it because we're family.
No, I don't want to be Toretto. So we kind of talked about then the streamer experience, and I do briefly want to talk about the viewer experience. So like, I don't think there's a lot of other people who do events in our group. I will say Brightheart certainly has done events, I forget what's called, Sprash Fecta. Yeah, that's a tough one to do.
Mm-hmm.
But as a viewer, like on your end, how do you feel knowing that you are have been a streamer doing it? Because for me, I obviously I said I was inspired to do events because of you. And that my approach is a little more story driven. I don't really have commercials on my end. For Harvest Moon Knight, I did do a quiz stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But after doing that, I felt a little more like in line. Like I can relate more to how much goes into the event and stuff like that. Especially because I've helped. Now I'm helping with a little more directly with how events go on your end and moderating them and providing assets. So.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll use the table tennis night. When it comes to between the two, the two types of events, so we didn't really talk about too much of the like more community kind of events too as well. But between the two, I will say the more exciting and more involved events are definitely going to be the varietized community nights, as it would be. So I think, honestly speaking, I think you might kind of want to owe it to yourself to maybe do a community night at some point down the road here soon.
My birthday's coming up.
It is. It is. It in fact is coming up. And that would be something that I think that'd be kind of interested. I'd totally be down to. I'd even probably try to request to make sure that I don't have anything going on that day to make it to that. But like with an event, and I'm saying I'm gonna say this because I kind of get the expectation between everybody else, and that's okay. With a challenge event like table tennis, or even when I was doing like a speed run of Ocarina of Time, or Pikmin nights and stuff like that, even the Earthbound night or the Majora night, which was a disaster. That boy, I've never been so defeated.
Unfortunately,
I've never been so defeated in my life other than that night. So, the hard thing, especially with your night, because when it comes down to what we watched. And I was really glad you pushed your way through it. And I got to see the end of that, so I was like, yes.
I know what you're going for here, and I joked about it. I'm only going to see that blue desk, that blue table, and I'm going to hear second bounce.
No bounce.
No bounce. Man.
I'm thinking more of like click, 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 click.
The difference between like that event and then the ones Carl's does is mine was a singular mini game.
It was the same screen for 12 hours all the way through. If you
scroll through the thing, you're thinking, you're going to see the same image.
You are.
On the preview. So like, I just was trying really hard to make that one entertaining, and I understand, like, for a lot of people, that was just, like, the same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. It was like watching, like... I can't think of a comparison here.
Yes, I can, because as it would be, good friend and streamer Glorious Fail somehow managed to put on the same gosh darn day. I don't know how you two managed to do this. The same gosh darn day he played the Winnie the Pooh baseball game, which is pretty on par. Honestly speaking, it's pretty on par with table tennis.
For Carl it took
about 4 hours.
5 hours, 4 hours. For Glory, he went my time because he didn't finish that day.
No, he did.
He thank you for the raid again, Glory, if you're here. Mm-hmm. But afterwards, after his 8 hours, he went the next day for like another hour. He beat it that time though.
Yeah, he did.
The hours,
he was rested up and everything, and then it ended up.
Yeah, that was all he needed. I didn't sleep during mine.
Yeah.
not to one up, but
but like you think about it, like it just. And there was times too because I felt that I was like every now and then I'd get like a little bit sick watching your stream, not because like it was boring or anything. Well, I guess it technically was in the sense like there'd be you watch the same thing for 12 and to put it into comparison, people, like you're just watching the stream. Think about this poor man that's been playing and having to be actively like attentive to what he's doing in the stream. Like if you think
and talking,
yeah, so like. I would imagine that you probably started to feel a little crappy, like physically too, every now and then, like when you were going through with that stream.
I took a rest because my arm hurt like heck, and then the next 2 days it still hurt.
Yeah,
Because let me show it for people who are ignoring the title. It was this. Do you want a new thumbnail? So, but basically, it was this motion that hurt because it's like a rotation of the wrist that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just doing gang signs. But
wow,
I get
Speed,
that.
your wrist, wow. So to the viewers at home, he doesn't show me his camera because he records on a phone, so he can't actually physically like send me his data in real time.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so it's definitely a thing where like the there is a sense of endurance to watching things, you know. Like they make the joke about like you should take a break every hour to rest your eyes, and like there's a lot that backs that like logic too. And it's not like, you know, I'd probably say maybe after 2 hours you really probably should start to like, you know, like you should just get up. Be the biggest thing if you've been playing a video game for 2 hours is just to get up and like walk around so you're not just like glued to the couch. But like,
speaking of, can I note something?
Yeah.
You were the only one redeeming the stretch command I had at that day.
Yeah.
So then when you like left to do something, I didn't get up for like most of that. So yeah, that's, you know, it's again, you know, as Carl was like, first world problems. I spent 12 hours playing a video game, but you know, it's the landscape.
Yeah.
There are. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. That's also something too. As a viewer, you know, and I think, cause like your stream was not the only one that I was doing a lot of that stuff too, or like, you know, like we have a lot of channel points, and like we get a lot of. So for those people that have never watched Twitch before, channel points are a new functionality where like it equates to basically watch time on a stream. And there's other things that can kind of multiply how many more channel points you get per stream and per time you watch. But essentially, you get these free points the more you watch, and then like you can trade them in for to be able to like redeem stuff. So like a lot of
that the streamer has set out like commands. They're called channel point commands specifically. So then they inform the streamer to do something, or even it does something. Like for example, when Carl did community night when I was there for Super Mario World. Crowd control. Yeah.
You know, that was the most stressful thing I think I've done in a while for sure.
Let's do it again.
It was a lot of fun. It was so much fun. It was total bash watching everybody really spend all their points to kind of do that kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely a thing where I feel like people just like forget about them or just don't even realize that they're even there a lot of the times. So I try to make it. I've always been afraid too because like I've seen definitely other streamers with channel commands where I'm like, I don't want to touch those because I feel like I should leave them for other more veteranized people. But like at the same time, like they're there for everybody. Like go abuse them. Go use them. And
go wild.
Yeah. That's why I have the water command on my channel. That's why I have the stretch command because, like, you know, it does actually help us out in the long run to like stretch and stuff for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for me though, since I don't really use webcam, I don't have them on otherwise. So that's like my thing. I can't prove that I did it generally.
Yeah.
It's a preference thing for sure because Carl, well, not only very recently, rather it's like it's been 2 years now since you've been on webcam now. So. But for me, it's like
has it been two?
I kind of sit blank faced because it was like
2019.
Oh man,
maybe it's
3 years ago now because it was 2019. I thought.
Yeah.
Or is it 2020?
I think it's been almost 3 years now. I don't remember. Comment down below if you know.
So there are like a couple other things I want to touch on for events, and then we'll wrap up. So I guess we kind of skipped over this. How do we decide what we're doing for an event?
Well, I mean, here's the thing with myself now. There's a hard and there's an easy to that. And it's kind of one and the same because like at the end of the day, like I am defined as a variety streamer. You know, people have tried to tell me that I should just focus on one thing, and that's not what I do. It just isn't. It's not what Carl 101 is about. It's not. Really, no, it's true. It's like
no, you just made me think of Frank Sinatra.
Oh, I did it my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's totally wrong. That's a good segue. But yeah, it's the thing about that is that I have the liberty essentially to be able to choose kind of a lot of what I just want to choose in that regard. With like the games I choose for the community nights, a lot of it kind of does just kind of factor on like what I'm the most interested. Because like as the streamer, you should be the most interesting thing. Like you are the most interesting thing. Like when it comes to a stream, like there are two things that are going on that are the most interesting. Number one is the event itself, and I don't mean this by like just a straight up event. I'm talking more about just like you stream a game, you know. That's your half of your entertainment. The second part, generally speaking, unless you're just going to stream the game, nothing else, your second part should be yourself as the narrator slash talker slash whatever you want to kind of define yourself, the streamer as it would be. Those are the two most important things, regardless. So like when I'm looking at my community night, you know, I'm saying to myself, you know, these people are here for me and for what I give to them, which is the game or the event or whatever it be. So with myself, because there's no one defined thing. I mean, people will argue that Pikmin is probably my most like renowned thing about myself. And when you look at my channel statistics, like yeah, that's really what I'm the most known for. But that isn't true in a lot of regards, and especially as I keep growing newer community here. I feel like that's going to start becoming less and less of a thing. People are not going to really remember or really know who little Johnny Pikmin is, you know, from my past. People are not going to really remember, you know, Troy and Carl, or know about, you know, like Troy and Carl or Boogie Carl as it would be, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. Just because like it's the new age and it's the moving on of stuff. And that's just the thing with variety that just ends up being a thing too, is that like when you define and you understand yourself as a variety streamer, you know, you're really just open to the possibilities that anything is going to kind of be available. And I'd say for going into like stuff like a community night, you know, the biggest thing I'm looking for is making sure that everybody, I get the biggest majority of people that have something. So, you know, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier with like Jackbox and stuff. Free to play games are great too, like TF2. Marbles, another good one. But like, yeah, taking like a game like Team Fortress 2. I know it's an odd topic or an odd choice, but like with it being a free to play game and with it being an older enough game where like toasters are starting to be able to run pretty decently on it.
That's how we played it.
Yeah, it's something that we can all, you can load it up and you get a whole bunch of people that are just goofing around in it, and if you have a big enough community, you can eventually fill up a server. I'd love to one day get, you know, have like a stream of like 70 or 80 people. We play TF2 for an hour and a half, and you know, of those 80 people that are watching, you know, 24 of them come in to, you know, have a full game of Team Fortress 2 that is community only and of that community and that kind of stuff. So and I have a whole bunch of other free games that I'd be totally down to help people like work with and get rolling on their computers and stuff, just so we can kind of do a lot of that stuff. So,
yeah.
You know, a community is a thing. It's a thing of, it's an understanding of a togetherness between people. So when I'm looking at stuff, you know, I want to find games that are really appealing and really enjoyable and really desirable for all of us, with myself probably being the most important person, just because I'm the streamer and I'm the one hosting the whole thing. So that's kind of my outlook as far as like what I'm really looking for, is like what to plan and what to put on and stuff. So
my approach is a bit different, because if you kind of look at how this has gone for my major events, it's a meme that people run to the ground, and I'm like, I want finality on this. For example, you know, Magical Melody Marathon, Speed's never played this game that he has 15 parts on his channel for. What's a Kevin? That's why the 200 follower event was a bunch of personality quizzes.
Does that wait. 300 follower event, Speed plays all the Home Alone games.
I did the pose too. Carl's gonna 360 his head. Table tennis revengeance was also because everyone was like, "You're getting beat up by a person in pigtails," and I was like, "Ah, man, I am." So for me, I keep my ear to the ground as well what everyone thinks is fun and tries to. So it's kind of on the same front of like, well, people thought this was funny because I kind of made it funny to them in a sense. So it's like that's a big motivating factor, as well as just interest for it, and it's a deciding one as well. For community events, I have a different route I kind of want to take. So like I like theming it because again I am mostly the artist of the channel. Now we have a lot more people submitting art for this for Carl's event, so that's really cool. That's like true. Dolly, Pixel Good, Hooba.
Appreciate
all that.
Appreciate.
So but on that front, I like doing Gartic Foe and Drawful for creative events, more than like competitive games, kind of like Mario Kart. But I did Mario Kart yesterday actually, because it was Zork's birthday. Happy birthday, Zorks!
Happy birthday.
But yeah, that's kind of like how we approach it. So speaking of the last two things I want to talk about, what would be just off the bat? I don't know if you even have anything you want to like, because this doesn't mean we're gonna put it and do it, but like future events. Have you ever considered like what would be fun but just haven't done or something like that?
You put me on the spot for that question because I haven't.
I know.
Things that would be fun that I haven't done yet. So. No.
If you want, I could fill in. For now.
Yeah, fill in if you have something, because I got to think about that one for a second.
So not something I haven't done, but Xresimal, a lot of people were like, "Hey, do another one for 2022," and I'm like, I kind of wanna. I want to do more creative stuff with the story. I want to have people cut promos where they like record themselves. Like it could be you going like, last year was just a fluke. I'm gonna make her draw 4 losses. To clarify, Carl lost a Uno playing college student.
I'm sorry, cut this part out.
Sorry, Bumbles is telling me not to. But like the thing is, you can't craft a story about something that's completely RNG. Like Will won 2021. And he wanted to be like the antagonist, the villain, because he's like, I don't know, turned. But if he loses the first round, then the story goes out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So, but I mean, I still think it could be a fun event. Two other ideas I've had. I still haven't done my own ANG, All Night Gameathon. I want to do an all-day casual-thon with Johnny, but as we've seen in the cards with All Night Gameathon, what with Troy and Troy and Johnny being the same person, they're quite busy themselves. I want to do weird things on mine though, like we do karaoke and then people leave, stuff like that. And then lastly, you're gonna like this one. This is actually like one I'm thinking I want to do, like for sure. I would like to do a gambling theme event.
Oh God.
I've been writing that dumb quote, 90% of gamblers quit before they make it big, and I want to get a game where I have to like hit this certain quota. But I have to think of what game that would be, and that's tough.
Dude, Vegas Stakes, Super Nintendo. I'd be totally down for that because you okay. So the premise of the game is that you go into Vegas with friends, and like you gotta win it big. Like I think it'd be perfect. We grab me, TFP, and Tom, and be like, yeah.
Could do a plot again. The plot took a while.
Well, you make the plot that like the three of us are just winning the whole time, and you're just done.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, so you have to like learn to like accept the fact of like 90% of gamblers don't make or don't win or quit before they win it big. So like you gotta like overcome. You gotta be the like we're me, TFP, and Tom. We're the 10%. We've already won it big. We've already shown that quota. But like,
and then from the shadows, the best gambler comes to my aid. Hey, I heard you had an issue here. 90%. Like he's the one that tells me the quote. Yeah. 90% of gamblers quit before they make it big. Speed. Remember that. So yeah, okay. Well, I want to make it clear. I don't enthuse like gambling, especially if you're susceptible to it. I already made that clear with the microtransaction comment like from 2 scenes ago. But with video game gambling, where you're not actually spending any money, you're just spending your life away, why not? So that being said, those are future events I'd like to do in the future. Did you think of one in that time?
Actually, it literally just popped into my brain. So we make the joke about Hexacon. We've been making this joke for a long time. I don't.
This is a smart idea. If I'm getting what you.
I don't think it will probably come to that like where it's a big like convention center kind of thing. It'd be cool, but I'm doubtful on that one. But what I had in mind for the longest time is I would love to do like a stylistic of like the All Night Gameathon, but instead of it being Troy, it would be like bringing friends out to finally like do something like that in person. You know?
Oh, okay.
I think because I think like it's been something like with the community that's been a little overdue, and I think we're like kind of due to be ready for that kind of thing soon.
So I thought what you were going to say is because you actually enthused before Game Jam. So Hexacon I thought would be like, let's go to the Pixel Good booth and see what he cooked up. You know, I think that would be really cool too.
It would be
it
would be kind of cool to do like a
like a green screen.
Well, I was thinking more so like actually being like on a live stream, like at like a convention and stuff, like the group or stuff. I mean, like anything's game at that point. I'd literally write it off as like like watch at your own risk. Don't know what's gonna happen.
But yeah, what I was thinking was more like, since you have a green screen, you could like take images of like cons and then just pretend to be walking around the con, and then like you just pull up the TFP JPEG I like showing off the PNG, and it's like, hey, here's my game. I worked on Hell's Kitchen because he did. But yeah, I think both ideas are cool. But yeah, the other one is probably more feasible. Just have someone on.
Yeah, well, and I think like getting a group of like 3 other people to like come out for like a weekend or something, like I think that'd be kind of decent to like get it. That'd be something I think we get done, especially to do like a 12-hour kind of event, kind of stream like that.
Yeah. So my last question then for this topic for today at least is favorite event. Like, what would be your favorite event of yours, and then mine, and then vice versa? I'll say mine.
I've always not to, berate other people, and I know you've been on a lot of streams lately, but I mean the magnum opus that I've done as far as events and stuff that is still going to be the Gameathon.
Which one is my question? Because like I wrote that as like that experience is so fun, and I don't know, like I'd love to see if I can still do it as well, because you wake like I'm 2 hours behind, but I still at the end of it get to see the sunrise.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we've talked about that too, about we might possibly push that to an earlier time if we ever did a new one, just because I mean, like, I hate to say it again, but I'm getting old and sometimes that stuff gets a little bit more difficult. I mean, but like we both could definitely just like, now that I'm starting to become, I guess, a coffee drinker as it would be, we could definitely probably
watch out for that caffeine.
We could probably definitely slam down coffee and stuff. I will say this as truthfully as possible. The only Gameathon I didn't care for that doesn't make the list is one, because that was the most technically disastrous that I've ever dealt with. But I think I can't.
Yeah, they kind of. It's been so long, and there's so many of them that they kind of bleed in together, don't they? At this point,
every Gameathon is a magical experience that we've always done. Every single one. I cannot begin to tell you guys how much. Every time we do one, how much like it really just like is amazing to see everybody just having so much fun. Like there's no matter what me and Troy do for those events, they always just it is always a grand slam. Like it is unbelievable. I'm sorry, it is unbelievable how much like people just walk out of those events and they're just like baffled by just like how much fun has just been had. Like I it's something that I just don't understand, but like I can't just sit there and be like, yeah, this one out of all the rest of them are particularly my favorite, because like it's just
there's probably standout moments though. Like I think it was ANG3 introduced the Atari Power Hour and also the Stadium Counting, so I think that one might be one of the landmark ones for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's been just like a tradition now that's been started. Like people are still like they're counting, like they probably have like little things in the back of their rooms that are like, last time since we saw Stadium Counting on a Troy Carl event, and then it's like
like you're in a prison cell.
Just another slash.
I think for the recent one, the one I think is like. For Gameathon wise, Green Demon was really fun. That one also just
for sure. And like that's kind of the plus about events like when you take challenges too for events like that, because like there's one thing to being like, okay, can I do this event or do this challenge in in a day or something like that. Like can I beat table tennis and the final grand champion in the remaining amount of time? Can I beat the game entirely just to the credits in this entire day? But like when you're like, okay, and this also goes for like the New Year's Eve Showdown challenge, which I've been running now for the past 3 years, which is an event where I see how many games can I just possibly beat in a given night, and that goes back and forth between like legitimacies in a lot of regards, because like some of those Atari games, like I'm beating those in like 10 seconds, whereas an egg can be literally beaten in under a second. But I mean, like, it's still a game. It still got to the credits, or it still got to the beaten phase, so like it counts. So it's just kind of this thing where it's like with that event, I've always made I actually, it just kind of dawned on me just a second right now, because I was always afraid that like once I got to 100, boring event. But
and this is a big but.
It is.
I'm talking about my own.
I think it should always be, can I go one more? Can I, like, if I get to 100, like, will I be able to pull 101 next time? 102? 103? Because, like, once you, and this goes for, like, speedrunning and stuff, because, like, once you get to that point where, like, 1 millisecond is, like, a big deal, like, I didn't really think about that, because I'm always, like, especially, this is why I also beat myself up for, like, speedrunning and stuff, is because, like, when I'm 3 hours behind my schedule, I feel so defeated, because like I'm just like it's like a Mario Party game that you just miss, and you just hear that just fateful, just like no, because like I feel like there's a couple of Mario Party, like in the first Mario Party, where it's just miss, and then it just goes to black, and it's like, oh man, that's just a stake through the heart if I've ever seen one. So that's kind of like where that's at. But like when I think about like, can I do that this time? Will I be able to pull that off?
90%. That's why I was like grinning earlier, because I just thought, what if I did one more game? What sorry guys, though, New Year's Eve Showdown will end if he is below the previous the previous one.
So I'll need all your support to help me beat these games.
For my end, I think the one I had the least regrets with was Magical Melody Marathon, and it was really fun, particularly because, like, I don't know if you actually remember, you performed.
I did. I played Harvest Moon with that one.
Yeah, still in love with you on this Harvest Moon. I know I'm singing like that, but like I kept thinking after more about how Table Tennis Revengeance had, because so Magical Melody did have a story. Like, it was, someone sent me this strange letter about a question, and then I privated all my YouTube videos on Magical Melody on the YouTube channel to show that I've never played it before. I don't know if anyone noticed that, because, like, again, that my YouTube channel is certainly not active.
YouTube.com/AfternoonCasuals!
But I thought that was a fun little thing to do. Mm-hmm. But like Table Tennis Revengeance, I went so ham on the lore, and I still sometimes think about, what if I did more? So like I'm kind of split between those two. I think overall I might say the Magical Melody one. I felt like more like, yeah, I'm doing this. We're going through. This is fun still. Mm-hmm. Whereas Table Tennis, it was more like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So
yeah,
that was certainly the there's a difference, even though they're kind of both endurance streams. Which one did you like more, Carl? Hexaresimal? 24.
Yeah, 24. I think I say this weirdly, because I feel like Magical Melody, I think I was the most, like, I was there for the whole entire thing for that. So I felt I have this sense of like, yeah, I was the most supportive of that one, so I think that one's but I mean, I was also there entirely for Hexaresimal as well, so but I think the problem with Hexaresimal, and I think that this will get solved hopefully for next year, was I think we all agreed that like there was too much that went on for Hexaresimal, because we did like a second mode, didn't we?
Yeah, that one was like a conclusion thing, but like if anything,
Yeah.
I don't know how to expedite that though. It's still going to take as long if we do it, especially if we're going to add promos and stuff. So
yeah,
in fact, the next one just might be longer, unfortunately, and fortunately, it's a two-sided.
Well,
sword.
I think with doing promos and stuff, and if you like add like intermission, like more intermissions and stuff, it'll probably actually pan itself out to be quite a bit better. Just like
like so after the first bracket, we could do, or no, we'll see.
Yeah, so this goes back. This goes into just like streaming 101 here. Like this is personally for me, and everybody has their own opinions, and you're more than welcome to like go about how you're streaming however you want, and I encourage you to do that. But for my opinions, when it comes down to it, like the golden rule of streaming is that the 3 to 4 hour mark is a very important thing, because once you cross that mark, something changes, something happens, where like. Because I noticed this when we did Golf Guys, because we started going past the 4 hour mark and then we went to the 5 hour mark, and I was like tired, and I kind of started to like feel to myself like I'm just out of it and I don't want to be here anymore, because like my stamina and my energy just kind of like plummeted a little bit more, because like that first hour of Golf Guys I was like, yeah, I'm super in it, and then that second hour of Golf Guys I was like, I've been streaming long enough and I need a break.
And you see, that's the funny thing, because I streamed before him on that day. So that was like also my 4 hour mark, and I was like, man, I want to keep going.
Yeah.
so like that's also certainly the challenge with like, All Night Gameathon. It's 2 people now, so you double the factors.
Yeah.
Like, what if Troy's not feeling it?
Well, and
what if he doesn't want to play Diddy Kong Racing?
And that's the thing too with and what I mean by break isn't so much so because like it should have worked regardless, but it just like the problem is that the endurance of the whole entire stream just ended up taking over. But like the more variety you have, and that's why I've been kind of keeping that variety schedule, like the better off I feel like a stream's retention just ends up being, Because and that's the thing with like your table tennis streams, because like the variety was the lore events that would show up. People were interested in seeing that. People were like, oh heck, what the heck is this going on here? This is cool. I like this.
Speed's an anime protagonist.
So,
but man, again, I hope that was just a little foray, or like foray. I don't remember which one I want to say.
There's a lot more
into how we approach these, and I hope it, at least if anything, it provided some insight into them. So I guess on that front, my question to the audience would be, if you are a streamer, or even a YouTuber or whatever, what event would you do? Like, what's something that you'd love to do, in a sense? Like, I'd love to see, for example, Lime Green. I need to catch up on his videos, but like, I'd love to see him do like a live stream where he does something, with an eye covering. There's a bunch of different tasks. Builds a Lego set blindfolded.
Oh, that'd be tough. I'd watch that though. That'd be tough though.
And then he opens his eyes and it's like, oh no, I accidentally made the Mona Lisa. So, what's your question?
I think the most curious thing, I always love seeing feedback, and I don't mean feedback of just my streams in general, but or my events in general, I should say, since this is more about events. But what I'm curious about from everybody is that I'd be curious to see what kinds and types of stream events, not just normal streams, but like stream events that you like to just kind of witness. Do you like seeing more challenge events? Do you like seeing more casual like community events? Is there even a stream event that like goes on that we don't even really like think about as an actual event? The all night just like rest and not do anything event, like that'd be kind of nice. Just hang it.
You can't stream sleeping.
No, I'm not saying sleeping. I'm just saying like
I know,
it's just you and me. We just sit on a couch for 12 hours and just not talk to each other and just.
Carl, I gotta rip one. Take the front here. I gotta go. Excuse myself. Sorry that segment ended with a fart joke. So we're gonna move on here to we have some quick viewer comments on some of our questions.
Yeah.
I'll go over them real quick. What's a game you've completed that you felt the most proud of doing? This was my question, and then Ice Climber said Super Kirby Clash. But also for your question, what games have you truly completed, and what did it mean to complete them? Ice Climber goes into more Super Kirby Clash. I beat all the bosses, got all the gem apple stuff, collected all the gear, completed all the missions. It made me feel good that I could come up with strategies for trickier missions. So yeah, I played that on a Check It Outs as well. I don't know if you've played Super Kirby Clash.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's a bit Monster Hunter-ish in a sense of like everyone kind of has a different role and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it gets tough even though it's such a simplistic thing. So I can see why that is certainly an achievement in its own right, because I haven't gotten anywhere close to that. And then Lime Green said, I 100%ed Moon, which has an annoying fishing minigame that is timed and you only get to attempt it once a week. I hope that's in-game. There's an item you can eat that people says helps fish better, but no one really knows. Moon is like a big inspiration for like Undertale and stuff. It's like this kind of unorthodox RPG, and I've always wanted
Did you say that Moon has an inspiration from Undertale or is inspired?
No, it inspired Undertale.
Did Moon come out like ages ago?
Yeah. So it was re-released recently because it's a cyclical thing. Toby Fox told the Moon developer, and was like, you should just re-release it. And like, okay, if you say so, if people are still interested in it. And people are interested in it. And I'd love to play it at one point. So that was... Sorry, I took all the things to say from you in terms of that.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
And then I don't have any for last time. Okay. The 100%ing stuff.
And no emails?
No emails.
No emails, okay.
But if you do have an email that you want to send to us, good transition, Carl. Please feel free to reach out to us at the please don't email this podcast at gmail.com. I wanted to stress out the words there because last time you said I flubbed it.
Yeah, it's good. Good. Much better.
So, what will you be doing coming up?
I guess next week is just normal schedule stuff. So we're in the midst of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Since this will actually come out pretty much past where I'm going into the second game. I haven't picked yet. I don't know what it is. I'm honestly thinking it's probably going to be Metroid Dread.
A summer game.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Just wear a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. I don't know yet. I'm going back and forth on what I want that to be. It won't be an RPG because I think the RPG slot's been nicely handled by Pokemon still being a thing. So I don't know.
I will give you permission if you'd like. Speed permission. You know, this is a rare thing that I get to offer. You can do Wii Sports Resort.
Well, I don't want to play that garbage.
Oh, I see. Yours is scared.
It's more of...
People are going to tell you to fight Lucia, and then you'll see.
It's more of...
No, I'm scared because then you'll beat her in the first round.
Actually, well, the biggest thing I'm thinking more so is I suffer from really weird Wiimote or Wii sensor bar like placement stuff. So
he has to do horizontal.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an awkward thing to stream games that are so heavily dependent on the Wii sensor bar. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a quick segment of that. We could probably do for some just like quick one-offs on a given day, just to kind of like varietize more as it would be. But I don't know. All I know is I got to do Metroid Dread at some point. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but it'll get done at some point.
Or Kirby.
Oh, that's true. I do have Kirby. I don't know if I'm...
Because you showed them both on that very quick... What's Carl get now?
Yeah. I don't know. Something will happen.
Yeah. I think if anything, Kirby might be the more... Well, it might be a little duplicitous. That's not a word. But with SpongeBob, because it is a platformer. But at the same time, you start off on the beach. So
true.
So on my end, Monster Hunter, still doing that. Pioneers, almost done.
Ooh.
Almost done with year 2. We're gonna see if we hit 50 parts.
Are you gonna do Stardew Valley next?
I'm gonna rest. I don't know. I've been really wanting to do Rune Factory. I've been telling everyone that I'm gonna do that next. I don't own the game yet though, so we'll see about that.
Well, if you guys want him to do Rune Factory, he's got some subscription stuff that you can get.
It's just like I don't know what platform I want it on rather, because it's on Steam now. So, Also, it's rare that I get into correspondence with Brian, but we might do an AI dungeon stream together. We did not research what this will do, but the AI dungeon has multiplayer, and hopefully we can actually do that. I'll have to research that before I even say yes to that in reality. But I'd like to see how that goes, because again, AI dungeon, I was doing that, I've done that twice so far, and it's pretty fun to just see the AI say something completely different to what I wanted it to do. So having another person do things that I don't want it to happen, double the trouble. So where can people find me?
Oh, yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/Carl101. My current streaming schedule right this very moment is Monday through Wednesday, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m., sometimes a little bit later than 10 p.m., but usually 7 to 10. You can also find me on youtube.com/Carl101. It's where all of the funnies, it's where Project Chase will someday in the future maybe possibly be released.
Eventually.
If you want to keep up with me truthfully and the most practically, Discord. My Discord server, which will have a link probably down in the description below. You can check me out there. Otherwise, I have a Twitter at Carl101. And my Instagram is also the same thing, at Carl101.
And the Patreon.
And Patreon, yeah. Patreon.com/Carl101. You are more than welcome to donate to that however much money. All you need to do in order to unlock the perks that are available for there are $2. It gives you early access to things like when Project Chase goes out, as well as other miscellaneous music boxes or anything else that I decide to upload to the channel. Are definitely uploaded there. You also get perks like for music boxes. I put in there the MP3s and the FLACs for you to go ahead and acquire for your own personal listening to. And we do the Kea video of the week there, where I just post a quick blurb of Kea doing whatever the heck Kea feels like doing. So it's a fun time. Lots of stuff. And I'm always, and with that as well, this is just for everything. You guys are more than welcome to drop me suggestions. You can even use as much as the please don't watch this podcast email is more so for the podcast. Like, we're also happy to have suggestions for the podcast that you guys may think would be helpful. Comment down below, that kind of thing too. And of course, on all of my socials and stuff, you are more than welcome to do a lot of that stuff. And with that, Speed can be found
at Flame Cannon the Third Eyes Twitter, the Roman numeral for 3. You could find me on Tumblr at Flame Cannon the Third. I need to write that down on this list here. You can find me at Twitch at SpeedSlasher. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Fridays, you can find me at Brightheart2324, which I'm late for. So today, because I was supposed to start like 30 minutes ago. So with that, Carl, say the funny.
Don't watch this podcast.